going, everybody? This is Martin Stokes here.
And this is Dean Scurry.
And I am a traveller.
And I'm a countryman.
Welcome to A Traveller
And a Countryman podcast.
At least I could count to 48. But I heard you there for the last half an hour. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I was thinking my own one. You're the one that wasn't in school.
I was dancing. A 1, man, a 2.
1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2.
A 1, 2, a 3, 4, 5. I once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I let it go again.
So welcome back. Episode 48 of A Traveller and a Countryman podcast. Here we go.
Here we go.
So tell me what, Dean, seeing that you're in the audience there, what is it you want to talk today about? Have you
Are you visualising when we're on stage?
Are you actually lost? You call me down here to do a podcast and you tell me you didn't tell me not to talk about, but you're referring to that with your silence.
My silence speaks volumes.
Silence is golden.
This is great. You're in a giddy mood. It's great.
Come on. So what's happening anyway today? Tell me, were you busy, you were?
Got up this morning. Went and picked some mushrooms up on the hills in the Cooley Mountains.
In the Cooley Mountains in Dundalk. Why would you go picking mushrooms? You get a box of them there in the shop for €1 out of the freezing cold.
They're not the ones I was picking.
It wasn't warm this morning. I was picking mushrooms.
They're not the ones I was getting though. So yeah, I was out picking mushrooms this morning and I brought my ma down some mushrooms and then I went out for a swim in the sea with my ma and dad.
This morning again, yeah.
Yeah, they've been out every day for the last week or so, swimming in the sea. They're living beside the sea for the last 20 years. And now in their 70s, they decided, let's go down for a swim.
Very good. So it's never too late, is it?
Never too late. It's October now, and they're in swimming regularly. But the look on their face was
in
beautiful.
their 70s,
yeah,
freezing cold.
But that's why you're going down. You're going down for the freezing cold. It's a nice shock to the body.
And tell me something. This shock to the body, what does it do for you?
Kind of wakes you up. You know the way sometimes you're in your own head thinking about stuff. Well, this gives you a chance to get out of your head and into your body.
Do you want to explain that to anyone that's listening, basically, what you mean by that? I don't understand that.
You don't understand it.
No.
So I'll explain it to you.
People might be listening to this podcast. I'm not sure if there is anyone listening, but there might be. But just in case there is,
I'll explain it to you.
Explain a little bit anyway.
You'd be in your head sometimes where you've got 101 things going around your head.
Right, what?
Yeah, same as anybody.
Yeah, everybody. Maybe everybody's probably the same.
I'm addressing it to you because you're here. You're in your head, you're thinking about stuff. Some of it's your business, some of it's none of your business, some of it's somebody else's business.
Some of it's head wrecking.
Some of it's head wrecking, some of it's great, some of it's just stuff you have to do or stuff you were doing yesterday or stuff you have to do tomorrow.
Right.
But you've got a lot of stuff in your head or feelings or emotions or thoughts or whatever. Like I was explaining to you a couple of weeks ago, I was sad.
Yeah, which is this is normal in human society, like, yes.
Yes. So from time to time, it's good to let all that stuff go for a while. Clear the head. You've obviously heard that phrase. I'm just going down here to clear the head.
Yes.
So that's kind of what it does. It clears your head. And the way it does that is it gets you out of your head into your body. So you're in your body. You're feeling all your body. Sometimes we're not aware that we have a body that has feelings and sensations. We all just think it's in our head. Does that make sense to you at all?
I don't know. It's a bit,
and it's hard to explain without doing it. It's hard to explain. That's exactly it.
It's psychological for me to be understanding.
I think you're well able to understand it. It's hard to explain it though unless you do it. Because I've been explaining it to me man and dad for years.
Are you saying, right, when you go for a swim, the nice cold water, you literally just forget about everything. You're just concentrating on your swim and how good a feeling it is. Is that what you're saying to me?
Yeah, and also that you're aware that it's cold and you're going, oh, this is cold. And what you're not doing is thinking about all the other shit you were thinking about.
All right, so basically it's taking you away from, in a sense, it's taking you away from everything else, yeah.
Taking away from all the chatter in your head.
So is it, would it be classed as a form of therapy, like going for the swim in the beach?
Well, if it's therapeutic, it's therapy.
Yeah, very good, yeah.
If you enjoy it, if you come out a little bit happier and a little bit lighter than when you went in,
yes,
even 1%, well then it's beneficial, isn't it?
True. And what happens, say an hour later, then if you were feeling the same way again, would you jump back into the sea again?
Sure, you could do whatever you want.
I'm just saying, would you like? I've often went to the beach with kids in the summertime, the wife and that, and maybe wouldn't be big swimmers like, but they'd be paddling in it, but I'd be maybe go for a small swim in it. Like,
What's it like?
I wouldn't be a big swimmer. It's a great feeling, be honest about it. The fact that the sun is shining down, and maybe because there's so many people around you, I don't know if it had to do with that. Maybe because the temperatures are high and you want just that cooling down.
So I've been saying to my man there for years, why don't you come down for a swim? And he'd be like, yeah, we'll go down, or it's too cold, or it's raining now. But all the while they'd be seeing me and my brother going down and coming back and re-energised and fresh. So I think something just changed with them. Something just switched. And I think it's about comfort zones. I think it's about realising that we have certain comfort zones that we stay with. Certain patterns in our life that we just go, I do this and this is the way I do it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you with ladders. You will climb a ladder if you need to.
Very little. I wouldn't be one for what you call climbing ladders, to be honest about it. If I was climbing a ladder now, it'd be like, I'd want to be, put it so my feet would be maybe probably 4 or 5 foot off the ground. Head height, I'd be talking about 10 or 11 foot then. And that's enough for me. Any higher than that, I'd be literally, if I was climbing onto something like a shed or a roof of a caravan or something like that, I'd be literally crawling. I'd be like a snail crawling around. I'd be like a leech locking onto the whatever I'd be climbing. Heights, no, particularly in heights. I just don't have the head for heights. Very, very simple. I don't know why. And I don't have a big explanation for it. It's just some people are like that. Some people can fly up ladders, climb trees for as high as no end to them, basically, and not a bother to them, absolutely. For me, no. I get that sense of dizziness, literally, if it's heights. Like, for instance, say like some balconies now. If I was in a hotel room or somewhere like that there was a balcony, I couldn't, depending on how high of, say the balcony would be, let it be 3 foot high or what, the safeguard basically, 4 foot, whatever. But then the height, depending on what floor you're on, you wouldn't get me around it, absolutely not.
If I booked you into a hotel and it was on the 25th floor?
Not a chance. Even if you put the 6 lottery numbers into my hands, I'd say, here, that's for you tomorrow, you're winning it. No.
What about the 15th floor?
Not a chance.
10th?
No, I'll give you an idea now, right? Before you come down to all the... before we end up on the first floor.
5, 4, 3, 2, basement.
We were in Medjugorje a few weeks ago, nearly 2 weeks ago now, and we were on 3rd floor, and there was a little balcony. The railings was about probably 4 foot high, and I wouldn't go nowhere near it because I have this sense of dizziness comes over me if I go, let's say, too close to an edge or something like that there. Like, for instance, that Days Hotel up there now. I've never been in it, but I know myself, if I went up to the 5th or 6th floor, you would not get me nowhere near the windows. Like, the windows is literally all windows, that same hotel. Not a chance getting anywhere near it. Because I'm instantly thinking, like, leaning against this glass or whatever. History gone. But I don't even give myself that chance. Because the fear sets in straight away. In the line of, when we were in Medjugorje, it's literally covered with, well, it's surrounded by mountains and cliffs and all that stuff. I can climb a mountain into the clouds and I have no fear of that because it's like I'm not falling off something, you know what I'm saying?
The mountain's underneath your feet.
Yes, I'm not on the edge of something, you know what I mean? Like when I went to Medjugorje now, there's a mountain over there. The biggest mountain is, they call it White Cross Mountain. And it takes you about, let's say it could take you an hour and a half, 2 hours to climb it. And I climbed every bit of that. And then the same back down. Like, no fear, absolutely, nothing whatsoever. If I went to Croagh Patrick tomorrow, literally that goes into the clouds. Not a bit of fear, none at all whatsoever. This one, I'm guessing, is it the fact that it's high, or is it a case where I'm looking down on something that I think is not safe? So the edge of a balcony for me is not safe. Edge of a cliff for me is not safe. If I go on, like when we went to Lourdes years ago, yeah, we all drove over in camper vans, and there was this bridge. It is the biggest bridge in France, and it has a strange sort of a name. It's obviously a French name, but
Le Bridge.
yeah, something anyway. Let's not go on it.
Let's go over to this other one.
Let's go the other way. No, I wouldn't go onto it. And it was a scary bridge. But the funny thing about it was, right, when we went the other way, we took a different route basically. We went across other bridges. They were still high, but not. They felt safe. Put it that way. And you would look from the distance, miles and miles over now, and you could see the other bridge, and how delicate and small it looked. But at the same time, this bridge was literally. I'm not saying it dry. It depending on the weather. I'd say if there was any mist of rain at all, there'd be clouds in it. But I think what to do in these higher bridges, I think to stop if the weather is severe, they're not allowed to cross them. It's just too dangerous. Weather permitted or not, you won't get me on that bridge. Simple as. But again, there's some people like that. People have fears of heights. But at the same time, I think there's different types of heights. I can get on a plane.
But you can't climb a step ladder.
I've been on a plane numerous times. The scariest part for me in the plane is climbing the stairs up. The stairs is about 15 foot high, is it? But the plane itself, no, I can't say that I don't have a fear of planes because I think everybody has a fear of planes. Do you have a fear of planes?
No.
None at all?
No.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, meet Dean Scurry, our hero. He has no fear of planes.
I didn't think I had a fear of heights until I was up in a tiny little plane about half the width of this room, and I was thinking about doing a parachute jump in another plane.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, man, let me know when we're at the height where you would jump out of the plane if you had a parachute. So we're in this plane, and he said to us, right, that's the height there that you would jump out. And I looked out and I said, not a hope.
Not a chance.
I've been on planes before that were 3 times higher, thinking, I jump out of this now.
And you were looking out?
But when I was in this small little plane, and he said it was like 10,000 foot or something like that. Yeah. And he said, this is the height. And I looked and I went, not a hope. And I had the opportunity to go and do a parachute jump.
Yes.
And I was like, no, just something came over me. So it's like that feeling. You don't know what it is. It's kind of like...
Probably fear, is it?
Yeah, but you on ladders, you know that, you know, it's safe enough getting up a ladder.
Maybe it is, yes. But again, what happens to me if I sort of approach a height, I can tend to get that dizzy feeling coming over me. So I know where to put the brakes on then. Back down, simple.
So that's like this. I didn't know when to put the brakes on in terms of height until he said to me, this is the height you jump. And then something inside me said, that's far enough for me. I wouldn't do that now. And I've bungee jumped off some of the biggest bridges in the world, and I've climbed ladders that are 50, 60 foot. I've hung out of windows in town with no harness on, washing windows when I was a kid and all.
Yeah.
But just something about this is one of the first times in my life where it went, that's far enough for you. And it was like, that was past the edge of my comfort zone. And I would be...
So have you a fear of planes at all?
No fear of planes whatsoever.
Nothing whatsoever?
No.
So what if you were in a plane now and you hit... Now, I want you to be honest with me. Don't be acting the hero today, okay? I'm not looking for no heroism today, right? If you were in a plane and basically you ran into a high turbulence now, which does happen, would you be scared of that?
No.
You wouldn't?
No, if I was like...
But everybody else in the plane is.
If I had my seatbelt on, I'd be grand. I have got onto planes like hungover. You know the way you'd go off for the weekend, you'd be in Manchester, Liverpool, you'd have a couple of pints and then you get an early flight back in the morning and you're hungover.
You'd be drained more than hungover.
Yeah. So those times I'd be a bit anxious or nervous on it. But 99 times out of 100, no, I've no problems with planes, no problems with turbulence or whatever. No problems on bridges.
So suppose you were driving across the bridge that I'm talking about, this the highest bridge in France. It's a narrow, skinny bridge and it's delicate now. It's tall, very, very tall. Supposing you got that fear while you were driving across the bridge or halfway across, what would you do then?
I'd experience what that fear is like.
That's not an answer.
It is. What do you mean, what would I do? I don't know what I do. It hasn't happened.
What would you do? Well, you just said you're on a small plane. You never had fear of heights. You find yourself on a small plane, you realise, this is it for me. I have a fear now because I wouldn't bungee jump out of this to height. Were you actually afraid in the plane itself, or was it just about thinking about the jump out?
I was just thinking I wouldn't jump out. Something like the shutters came down and I went, no, it's not even a question. I just wouldn't do it at that height.
Yeah, but that's how I feel now about climbing ladders too high or going into higher bridges or cliffs or anything like that. I just stay well away from that. I don't even go into that, let's say, the danger zone of it. And that's how you felt now when you're saying you wouldn't jump out of that plane.
So the reason I'm mentioning that is because that's the way I think me ma was about the sea. I'm just not doing it.
Yes.
And now every other day she's ringing me going, I'm going down the sea and we're getting in, and me and your dad's getting in, and it was freezing but it was great, and it was stormy yesterday and there was big waves and we stayed in for about 5 minutes. And today I was down there with her and there was a wave coming towards her. She was looking at the wave, but in her face she was going, oh fuck, this wave's going to hit me.
Yes.
So I went over to her and I said, the next wave we're going to dive into. And she was like, oh fuck. And I said, just calm down, take a deep breath and try and enjoy it. And the big wave came and she dived like down and under and into the wave, and the wave washed over her. And then she came out back to the other side of the wave. And she was a little bit knocked by it, but you could also see she enjoyed it a little bit.
Yeah, but do you not think that was dangerous then? No.
No.
Why not?
You tell me why it is.
Because you're a young man, 50 years of age. How did you even know that she'd be, although you were guiding her and
I
telling her
didn't.
what
That was
to
the
do,
great thing about it. I didn't know.
how did you know she wouldn't be scared of it and maybe lose control there?
I didn't know, but we done it anyway.
But you took a chance.
Yeah. Why?
Because you're mental.
Am I?
Well, it sounds crazy, to be honest with you.
Going underneath a wave, that's mental to you, is
Getting
it?
to do what you are to do, I think is crazy, yeah.
To put a head underneath
That's
water.
just my opinion and you can't sentence me for that.
No. I'm just trying to explore it with you. To put your head underneath water.
It's not just simple putting your head underneath water. It's diving into a big massive wave that's coming to belch out of it.
What do you think is going to happen?
Truthfully, I don't know.
Exactly. But why are you going with something bad is going to happen if you don't know what's going to happen at all?
Just don't take them chances.
You don't take the chances.
No, I wouldn't.
And if somebody else does, they're mental.
No, not your mother. You're mental. You guided her onto it.
Yeah, and I'm sure now she's going to go back tomorrow and do it herself. Is she mental
Maybe
then?
no, because she knows what she's doing now, and she knows she's capable of doing it. But you hadn't a clue whether she was capable of doing it or not. And be honest about it, did you?
I
you?
did
Tell the
actually.
truth.
Yeah, I knew she'd be
you?
well able. Yeah.
Are you just saying that?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to listen to my hero, Dean Scurry.
Who gets into the water
man
with a
of many-
75-year-old
the
mother?
man of many waves.
No, because I do it all the time. So I'm like,
Look, all as I can say to your mother is fair play to her. It took great courage to do it like that. And maybe she's over that that fear now of what you had for a long time.
yeah, she got out of her comfort zone.
Yeah.
She challenged herself. She got over that fear. And on the other side of that fear is what?
That's a very awkward question.
On the other side,
of
after the
that
fear,
is what?
on the other side of the fear. Yeah.
Go on, tell me.
So you know that phrase, feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yes.
So what's on the other side of doing it anyway? What's the next bit that happens?
Freedom, is it?
Yeah, you feel great. You feel like you feel alive. You feel free. You feel like you're no longer in your comfort zone and controlled by your fear.
Yeah, that's true. I have to agree.
So feel the fear and do it anyway. Climb the ladder, jump out of the plane, get into the sea in the winter,
I
put
still
your head
think-
underneath the water.
I still think you're mad.
Yeah, why?
For the things you do.
Okay, so in a few weeks' time, you're going to walk out on stage
Yes.
in front of 200 people
Right.
and sing a song
Yes.
and then sit down
Yes.
and talk for 2 hours
Yes.
with a couple of different guests
Yes.
in front of an audience. You're mental.
But there's only one thing. I don't have a fear of that. I don't have a fear, so
I'm going to be somebody else. I'm going to be another person who thinks you're mental. You're mad.
yeah, but see, the thing about being...
Hold on, man. You can't explain it. Just
I
because
can't.
you think it's grand. You're mad.
Yeah, but I'm going to explain it anyway. You see, the thing about it is, I'm saying to you, Dean Scurry, that's your opinion on this. You're entitled to your opinion. That's something I can't take away from you. And sometimes it is a matter of opinion where your opinion doesn't matter. So therefore, I'm still the same person. I'm still the same way. So regardless of what you think, like I know I just told you a minute ago that you're mad because you done something as I'd see very, very dangerous. But that's your choice. And that's just my opinion on it. But it doesn't mean my opinion matters to you, because it probably doesn't. So if I'm mad for doing let's say a podcast. Let
A
it be.
live podcast
Let it be.
in Ballymun in the Access Theatre in front of
Yes.
200 people on the 24th of November, where you're going to get up and make a holy show of yourself.
Absolutely, and I'm prepared to do that because I know it's going to happen anyway. I know that I'm
You're going to try and sing a song.
No.
You're going to try and have a chat with an audience.
I'm going to do my very best to make a
guests.
show of myself. I'm going to do my best to look an idiot because that's how it's going to be. What else?
So why are you doing it?
Why am I doing it? Because I'm an idiot. I'm doing it because I like it. I'm
Exactly.
doing it because I don't have a fear of doing it. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't do it. If I had a fear of doing it, I wouldn't do it. It's a bit of fun. Simple as. Bit of crack. So things can only get better. That's the way I see it. So what's the problem with that?
I think that's great. And I think you can apply that, anybody can apply that to all parts of our lives where we have things that we are afraid to do or comfort zones that we have. I can't go on a holiday anywhere that's not Spain, for example. That's a comfort zone that a lot of people have.
So they want to go to Spain, nowhere else.
Yeah, I only want to go to such and such a place. We go there all the time and that's where we go, and I'd never go to another place.
Yeah, but isn't it? You can't criticize people for that, because if they're doing something that they like to do and going a place where they like to go, then what can be wrong with that? Supposing they spent all this time, energy, money, you name it, going somewhere, and they didn't like to be there. They weren't enjoying it. So what good would that be? And then turning around to each other and saying, we should have went to Spain. Knowing that before they went on this holiday somewhere else, that Spain was the place to go because that's where they like it most. So would you do that? You take yourself out of your comfort zone, go somewhere
That I mightn't like.
that you mightn't like,
Yeah.
knowing that there's somewhere else that you would like. Tomorrow morning, right, if I was going somewhere, yeah, and someone said to me, would you rather go to Medjugorje or would you rather go to Spain? I know where I'd like to go, which is Medjugorje, yeah? There's not a chance in the world would I go to Spain knowing that I'd rather be in Medjugorje. So you're contradicting a bit there, and I don't think it's I don't think you're being fair to people, Dean. You know
What people? Who are they?
Anybody that thinks like that.
That thinks what?
Anybody that thinks I don't want to go anywhere else, only to Spain. They're entitled to, I think they're entitled to do.
So you know I'm using that as an example.
I know that, yeah.
Yeah,
but
so the
that's
example
good.
is if you always just do the things that you've always done, well, you will always have those same experiences.
Yeah, I
and you will be
understand.
comfortable.
Yeah, it's
and
nice
there's
to-
nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is there is beyond the comfortable and getting out of your comfort zones and doing new stuff that you would have been afraid of. There's something
Yeah,
to
but
learn.
I think
there's a different thing to get from that.
Yeah, but I think everybody experiences that. I don't think there's a human being in this world that doesn't experience that. The fact that they've done something or went somewhere or about to do something or about to go somewhere that's out of their comfort zone, or they're not sure how it's going to be, or they're not sure if they're going to like it. Whatever the reasons might be, I don't think there's one person alive that doesn't experience that in their lives. Wouldn't you be lying like if we said that we've never been in that situation? I've been at places where haven't been comfortable. I went to places where I didn't necessarily like to be, but just for whatever reason, maybe for one reason or another, I just let it wash over. Simple as. So I'm guessing it's not just about going on a holiday. It's probably things that happens in various times in our lives, doing things that we don't like to do. As long as there's no harm in it or not doing anything wrong in it, it's just more about feeling comfortable. It's like being around people. Have you ever been around people that you're not comfortable with? Isn't that out of your comfort zone?
Meeting new people is difficult. I met a group of new people last week, and in my head I was thinking, what are these people going to think about me? What way will I be in the room? What will I talk about? And then I just turned off all those voices and went, no matter what happens here, I'm going to try and be there and get whatever bit of crack I can out of it.
So basically, you stand up in the middle of the room. I'm Dean Scurry here. I'm from Ballymun. I love Ballymun, but I decided to move to Dundalk. probably all look at each other. What's going on with this guy? How the heck does he love Ballymun?
How are you building this image in your head of what happens? I love the way your head goes.
How does he love Ballymun? And he moved to Dundalk.
I love the way your head goes.
What the heck? And I'd say if you all look at their watches and look at their phones, what time is it? I'm out of here. So what did happen?
Everyone kind of,
Oh my God.
everyone allowed themselves to be vulnerable while we were there.
Yes.
Rather than, I'm just going to be in my comfort zone and I'm not going to say anything that's too risky and I'm not going to reveal actually who I am or what I'm really about. I'm just going to play this little game for a while.
Are you saying that you were ashamed to talk about who you are and what you're about and where you're from and all that? I need a small bit of an explanation there, if you don't mind, please.
So I said, I'm not going to do that. I think we all said,
So were you denying your identity or something like that? You were not going to do that.
yeah,
So you were actually, are you telling me that you're going to pretend to be somebody else? It's important to recognise who you are, where you're from, let's say your ethnicity, if you have one, whether you're a minority or majority, no matter what or where you come from. It's important to recognise that, and you're the one that's preaching and teaching this all the time. So now I'm saying to you, Dean, were you denying who you are? Very simple. We won't fight about it, but I'm asking a simple question because you sort of led me down that road there to ask that question. So if you could explain this a little bit, please, if you don't mind.
yeah, I
You walk into a room, there's a crowd of people there. Are they strangers? All strangers?
yeah, I didn't know any of them.
You didn't know none of them at all whatsoever?
No.
Did you know any backgrounds about any of them? No.
Very little.
Very, very little.
Yeah.
So were you walking into the lion's den kind of thing, is it?
Well, you could think that, but no, not really. In my head, before I went into the meeting, I was thinking, what is this? Who are these people? What will I say? What will they say? Yeah.
But you obviously knew what the meeting was going to be about, yes, naturally.
Very, very loosely what the meeting was going to be about.
So when I said to you earlier on, you were mad,
Yeah.
was I speaking half the truth?
You could say that to do that, you would have to be a little bit mad, but also you could say to do that is an interesting thing to do because you're getting out of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is to hang around with the people that you know, never meet new people and never talk about new stuff and never be vulnerable. Go on the same holiday to the same place that you go all
Being
the time.
happy about everything you do, basically.
Yeah, comfortable with everything you do.
Well, happiness is comfortable, isn't it?
Well, uncomfortable for me now, I'm finding happiness in that.
Yeah, in uncomfortable stuff. But is that before or after?
That's the point I was trying to make. After you take the risk.
You'll realise this wasn't so bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
After it. You do it or you don't do it. Let's say you don't do it at all.
Yes, you'll never know.
You'll never know. You'll never know. You don't walk out into that
What
stage.
did they say? I'll never know I failed if I never try.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another way of thinking about it is,
if I never tried, I'd never know I failed. Yeah, something like that anyway.
there's another way of thinking about it is, I am going to do this thing and I'm going to imagine that it was great anyway, no matter what happens, just by the fact that I'm doing it. I'm not going to get hung up on the outcome of it, but to help me do it, I'm just going to think in my head, I've already done this and it was already great and I already enjoyed it. Let's imagine you're walking down to the beach with me tomorrow and there's waves coming in and you're there in your shorts. What are you feeling?
I don't know because it's never going to happen.
Let's
So
play
I
it
was
out.
walking down the beach,
Yeah,
nice swimming shorts,
yeah.
maybe getting ready for a swim kind of, is it?
And we're going to walk in.
And deciding, I'd feel the cold for starters. I'd be watching out for the high waves to stay clear of them, without a doubt. I wouldn't be taking no risks. I can honestly tell you that now. I'd probably go for a little swim up along the edge of the beach, all right? That would probably be me. That's as much as I could ever do in there.
Would you go up to your knees?
Just like maybe a little bit higher than the knees, yeah.
Up to your hips?
Probably, yeah.
Above your hips?
No, probably around my hips, say where waistline we call it.
Waistline?
I reckon I'd manage
So that's
that.
up to your hips, yeah?
I'd manage that, yeah.
Would you get your head underneath the water?
Only when I wouldn't be heading out to where the waves are. I'd be swimming, what's it, parallel, is it?
Parallel.
Parallel with the beach.
Would you be getting your head underneath the water?
Yeah, give myself an odd dip, yeah, I would. No, I know how risky your swimming is. I would not be swimming like you, absolutely not. I couldn't swim like you anyway, but I wouldn't even be going there. And there's no way in this world would you be able to convince me either.
What way do you think I'm swimming?
You're going out to the water, you're playing, what do you call it, roulette, is it? Rapid roulette, is it? With the waves. You're taking
Russian roulette.
Russian roulette. You're taking big. Well, it can be Russian or rapid. I don't care. I'll be taking them chances anyway. You're playing Russian rapid roulette with the waves.
Rainbow Rapids Russian roulette.
You're taking chances. Which
Taking chances, Martin.
I wouldn't be prepared to take in. Don't hit me with that one. Taking chances, because I'll tell you why. I've took chances on millions of things in my life, in different avenues of my life, as a fellow would say. But when it comes to dangerous stuff that I don't think, like something I can actually live without doing, then there's no need for me to take chances in that. Like
Crossing a bridge.
Like me going out to the water and swimming in these big waves, I don't need to prove that to myself, absolutely, or to nobody for that matter. But other things, that's what I would call unnecessary tasks.
Or going into a room and having a conversation where you're being honest and vulnerable with a group of people you never met.
If I went into a room with a group of people that I'd never met, and if there was a reason for me to be there, I'd probably just sit back and let them all talk. And if they ask me a question, fine. Or if I feel the need to throw a word or two in there, fine. But I wouldn't be going in there and dancing like a mad rave party in front of people that I didn't that I've never seen in my life.
Why?
What? Well, number one, it'd be an embarrassing situation, wouldn't it?
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Do you actually need to ask me why?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I just told you. Because people think you're mad.
Let's say they don't think you're mad.
Well, you'd have to give them a really good appearance, wouldn't you? For them not to think you're mad. What I mean, I just said if I went in and start dancing around the gaff, they automatically think you're mad.
Where'd you get the dancing thing from?
I don't know, I was only being sarcastic.
No, but let's play it out in your head.
What?
So I went to meet that group of people last week. I didn't know any of them from Adam.
So then there must have been something in it for you, Dean. Be honest about it.
Yeah, meeting new people and be...
I don't know, was the fact you want to meet new people, or do you want to meet people that you didn't know nothing about? You didn't know what the situation was going to be. You didn't know what the conversation was going to be.
Yeah. Didn't know any of that.
You'd probably do any of that if there was a check there that wasn't filled in yet.
You'd have to be paid?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm guessing that if there was no other benefit in it for you, it's possible that happened.
You're saying I got paid for it?
No, I'm not accusing you of getting paid. I'm saying it's possible it could happen.
It didn't happen. So now what?
So did it make sense going to this meeting then?
Yeah, it was really good.
What did you benefit out of it?
I got to meet new people that I never met before.
Where's the benefit in it though? Where's the benefit in that for you?
Where's the benefit of meeting new people?
It's good to meet new people, I understand
so that's the benefit of it?
Yeah, but will there be a prolonged, like say friendship or relationship or...
I don't know. I have no idea.
Afterwards.
Maybe yes,
do you know
maybe
if you'll
no.
ever meet them again? No.
Hopefully I will, maybe I won't.
So you don't feel like you made an idiot of yourself or anything like that, no? I'm not saying it, I'm asking you the question. Did you feel that way when you walked in first?
No, but why are you saying that? Why is that the thing that came to your head?
Because, I'll tell you why. Me personally, if I walked into a room full of people, not even knowing them, and dare to have a conversation with literally every one of them, chances are I'd find it awkward for starters because I wouldn't know what type of conversations these people would want to have, for starters. And I wouldn't know what the things I'd be talking about, would I be making an idiot of myself? And if they start looking at each other, then it's time to get out of that room. Because they're definitely saying, look, what's wrong with this guy?
So let's say you were in a scenario, right?
No, I'm not saying that would happen, but that's why I'm saying to you, did you feel you didn't know this group of people?
Didn't know them from anybody.
You walked in, you start having conversation.
Yeah, and like very...
Or did you have conversations?
Yeah, very kind of vulnerable conversations where you're being really, really honest.
Yes?
Yeah.
So you felt good afterwards then?
I felt good during it as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, before it in my head I was overthinking it and I just had to shut that voice off.
You felt like you were taking a risk here, is it kind of?
I just going, what's going on? Who's going to be these people? What are they going to think about me? What am I going to say? What if I talk shy? What if? And
you wouldn't do that. No, tell me something. Why were you thinking like that?
Because probably I'm getting out of my comfort zone. Sometimes I have insecurities.
Yes. Good one. You got out of your comfort zone. You weren't with people who you could tell what to do. You weren't with people who you didn't need to answer or talk to, or if you felt like it. Or you weren't, let's say you weren't in fully control of the situation. Is that why you felt uncomfortable?
Probably. I was doing something new. It wasn't familiar. Let's put you in that situation, right? let's say it's not a room full of people that you have to talk to. It's just 3 or 4 people you have to talk to.
Yes.
Yeah. But 200 people are watching you.
Wouldn't be a problem for me. Because if I'm in a room and there's 200 people watching me,
Yeah.
and I don't feel like that they're going to be part of the conversation.
Yeah, but you're going to be part of a conversation with these other 3 people who you've never really talked to before.
There's a small chance that we might know what we're going to be talking about. We sort of nearly know what we're there for. And also, they're not complete strangers.
I'm giving you an example. You walk into a place.
200 people, and there's 4 people on the stage.
You've never met them.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
You're one of them, and there's 3 other people.
Yes.
You've never met them. Yeah?
Yes.
And you're going to have a talk
Yes.
about all types of stuff
Right.
for 2 hours.
Okay.
Are you nervous?
I can't say that I'm 100% not nervous. I am saying I'm going to make myself as comfortable as can be. I feel if I'm being nervous, I can simply make a fool of myself. Very easy, because if you're nervous, then your thinking is not right. But I don't think there's a reason to be nervous, because I'm only nervous if I class people. Let's say if I class people better than myself, or if I class people worse than myself. And I don't have no plans of doing that. I've never had plans of doing that. So I like to treat myself equal with everybody else and be on the same boat and just have this, try to have the same level of understanding. Let's say there's no need for me to think that I'm going to be in front of like the King of England or whatever.
So go back to that other group that I was talking about, those 10 people who I went into who I didn't know any of them. That's kind of the way my head was thinking.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you said I was mad for doing that. So would you do that?
I can honestly tell you that there has to be a reason for me to do it.
The reason to do it is to get to know people.
I'd need to be making sense of this, like.
To get to know people.
I'm not just going to walk into a room and there's 10 people that I have never known in my life, and they turn around. It's like, what are you here? What are you doing here? What are you here for? I've never met you before, but I don't know what I'm here for. That's a crazy situation.
You're there to get to know people, for them to ask you questions, for you to ask them questions.
But to get to know people and to ask questions, is that to make progress in a future plan or something?
Yeah, but it's also just to do that exercise, just to do that.
Is that what it's about? So it's like...
it's kind of like when we do a podcast, we're just chatting to somebody to get to know them.
It's like breaking a barrier kind of thing, is it?
Exactly, yeah. Trying to just break down that barrier. The most difficult thing to do is just to sit down with people who you don't know and have honest conversations with them.
Yes.
If we could do that in this world, if we could all just sit down and talk and listen to each other.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, it's good. But for some people, it's just not easy. They don't have that in them, you see. They don't have this thing where they're able to sit down with just anybody and strike up a conversation. Sometimes you can sit beside people or maybe walk in and meet people, and you find it hard to find a conversation because if you don't know their lifestyle, or if you do know their lifestyle and they have different lifestyles, or there's different things that they like to talk about, or they have different interests in life, then it makes you don't know. You really don't know where to start on it.
So that's the hard part, is the starting.
Like you could be having like we're doing here now, we're having a conversation. We're probably doing people's heads in if they're going to listen to this. And I'm guessing that it probably will, because there's times when we go on too much with about the one thing, right? But at the same time, you could be having a conversation there with a person, and they might be thinking in their own minds, gee, this guy has me head done in. I'm not able for this today. I'm not a bit interested in what he's talking about, but I'm just listening to him for the sake of listening. So it's probably the same thing as we're doing right now. Whoever's going to listen to this podcast probably do their heads in with the conversation we're having, part of it, because they mightn't fully understand what we're really, really talking about.
So I'm going to show you how we started the conversation, how we got past the bit of how do you start. We all had to answer a question. And the first question was, what have you lost that you would most like back?
Is this a quiz?
No, that's a question.
But is it a quiz question?
It's whatever type of question you want it to be, but that's the question.
So what have you lost?
Yeah, that you'd most like back.
That you'd most like back.
Yeah.
Well, some people might say they're youth.
No, I'm not talking about some people. I'm talking about you.
Dean, hold on a second. Give me a break here, will you please?
Martin, stop getting all pissy about it.
Let's talk about us and people, okay?
Let's talk about you. Let's you answer it. This is you, not everyone else, every other traveller, every other person in the world. This is just Martin Stokes. Relax, take a breath, close your eyes, think about it.
You never said the one and only.
Martin Stokes, what have you lost that you would most like back?
If I said to you, I'd most like back when I was young, I'd be, what do you call it? I'd be, it's called lying to myself, is it? Yeah, because I'm actually happy where I am right now. I'm nearly 52 years old, married to a beautiful wife. I have a beautiful family. I have absolutely a lot to be thankful for. So that question for me is a very, very hard question to answer. Very, very awkward question to answer.
Awkward or hard, both?
It's both awkward and hard because I could give you a simple answer without even thinking and saying, that's what I'd like back.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be honest with myself, would I? I wouldn't be honest with you, with whoever is listening to this.
So being honest is important, is it?
Honest to me, oh yeah. Honesty is one of my best...
so let's do an honest one then.
Yeah, honesty is one of my best policies.
Let's do it honestly then. What would you like? What have you lost that you would most like back?
Honesty. The honest answer to that is that I don't have an answer for it. That is my honest opinion. Is that I don't really have right now. I don't have an answer for something that you're asking me. What have you lost that I most like back? No, maybe there's small little things that when you're younger and you think back on them, you might say, well, I should have done this thing that way, or I should have done it that way, or I'd like if I do this, like if I do that. But that's not really something that you lost that you like back. No, absolutely not. So I have to say, I'm just a happy guy. How's the song go? I'm just a happy guy.
So there's nothing that you've lost that you'd like back?
No, is there anything you can remember? Because I only know you for the last couple of years.
So this is how we started. So everyone in the room would have to answer this question, and you get 3 minutes to talk
Answer
about.
it. But if you're not ready for them questions, it's another awkward one, isn't it?
Yeah. So if everyone in the room is not
Next
ready,
question, please.
if everyone in the room is not ready, it's awkward for everybody until you start talking about it.
By the way, what's the first prize?
You get to be honest with yourself.
You get to know yourself, is it?
Yeah, and you
Sometimes
allow,
getting to know yourself is not good, you know.
and you allow, isn't
You
it?
get too big-headed.
When things have not gone to plan, this is question 2.
I'm beginning to like this question already. Go on.
Were you better because of it?
Yes, I've often felt that way lots of times. Yes. It's like an unanswered prayer. Sometimes I thank God for unanswered prayers. Did you ever hear that one? Yes. I've experienced that a few times.
When things have not gone to plan, you would have better because
If
of
you
it.
ask me now, when did I experience
Well, have a
it?
think about it. Give yourself a bit of time.
Whoa, hold up there, dude.
Hold on, hold the horses.
Before you get carried away. If you ask me when did I experience this or how did I experience this, I won't be answering that because that would be strictly private and confidential.
For you, for this specific thing.
Me specifically, yes. Now, I don't know, is that the next question, but if you're about to ask it. So yes, I've often said, yeah, thank God it didn't happen the way I wanted it to. Because yes, I believe unanswered prayers sometimes, we just have to thank God for that. So basically, it's an answer to that question. Have things not gone the way I wanted them? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Read it out.
And you're, okay, when have things not gone to plan and you
Happy with it?
were better because of it?
Yes. Numerous times.
Okay, so when we were doing this in this group that I was in last week with these people that I never met, we all got 3 minutes to talk about it and listen to the other people and not comment back on anything they said.
But just listen to what they said.
Just purely listen.
So was someone asking the questions? Yes.
Well, one person asked,
one person.
and then everyone in the room.
Next one then. Come on.
So my answer to the first one, what have you lost that you would most like back, was my love for all human beings.
So have you lost that?
Sometimes I don't love everybody.
Sometimes you're an ignorant sow, if you don't mind me saying.
Thanks.
And just have to say that because I'm sort of agreeing with what you're saying because it's partly true. It's times I love to just, I don't understand. I'd love to have you in the ring, and I'd be Tyson Fury, and you'll be Amanda Little Lightweight. What do you call him?
Do you want to hurt me?
No.
Do you want to hit me?
No, I joke with you. Yeah, you're right, Dean. Sometimes you have the right to answer that question in the way you want to. But yes, why do you feel that way? Why would you feel like that?
There are times that I have not loved everyone in the world.
Well, it's hard to love everybody in the world because,
Is it? Why is it hard to love everybody?
well, we don't know everybody in the world.
Okay.
We don't know everybody.
So do we have to know people?
I think the most important.
Do we have to know people to love them?
No, I think what's most important. Now, not everybody might agree with this. Yes, we have to be kind to everybody. The most important thing is loving the people that you live with, which would mostly be your family. Would basically be your family. You can love the world, but if you haven't got it in your own home or in your own family, you're lost. Simple as.
So let's say you do have it in your own home and home family.
If you do, you're very, very lucky. You're blessed.
Do you extend that out or expand that out to other people?
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Where does that stop?
Wherever your limits are.
So my limit was, there was points where I didn't love myself, never mind anybody else.
Right. Yeah, maybe that was your own issues. You probably had issues with yourself.
Yeah, I didn't have love for myself.
But you had it for everybody else.
There was times where I didn't have love for anybody.
All right, but you have learned to love yourself now, but you don't love anybody else.
What I'm saying is,
I'm trying to listen, but if you bring the question out right.
So one of the things that I lost that I would like most back is my love for all human beings.
And you've lost that.
Sometimes I've lost it, yeah.
But now that
today, right now, in this moment with you.
Now that you've realised that, don't get all sentimental on me, Dean, please.
Why?
Now that you've realised that, how are you going to be from here on through the world, with the world?
Don't know. I can only really do now. If I think about how I'm going to be in the future, my head gets fucking up my hole.
So
I just think about right now. Now.
Why are you thinking about the future? Why are you thinking about the future?
No, you just said how am I going to be going on in the future from now? I'm not thinking about that.
No, yeah, I understand you're not thinking about the future. But what I'm trying to say is, how have you decided to make a change? That's what I'm saying. Now that you've realised I haven't been kind to other people.
I didn't say kind.
Well, love. It's love. Love is kindness. Are you going to change that?
Right now, this moment, I have love for all human beings.
Right.
But there has been times where I haven't had love for all human beings.
Maybe every now and again people feel that because it's human nature, it's human frailty, it's human weaknesses. We're human beings. We fail. We fall. What do we do when we fall? What do we do when we fall?
Stay on the couch.
We get back up again. Do you hear the song? I get knocked down, but I get up again. That's it, Dean. That's the human side of us. Simple as.
So I'm saying, as a
No,
human,
and I'm not just psychologist here or anything, but I'm just letting you know, we all have a downside every now and again, but we got to just keep on pushing through and keep on picking ourselves up, no matter how low we go. That's part of treating people kind, being nice to people, loving people, especially family, especially people we live with, especially people around us. We need to be, because these are people we see every day. These are people, which is our family, we have experiences with every single day. So we have to show our love for them. We have to let them know we care about them, how much we love them, and tell them it also. Say it to them, don't be shy, don't be ashamed. I know some men, some boys gets too big for their boots every now and again, and they find it hard to say these things. But there's different ways of showing it. There's good ways of showing it. Some people find it hard to even get their words out. You see? And some people have no bother saying, no problem. It shouldn't be a problem anyway. It shouldn't be a bother. But if you can't do it through your words, let it be through your actions. So you're still showing it. You're showing that you care about them. You're showing you love them. You're showing them that they're important to you. Now, I'm not saying we get it right all the time, because we probably won't. We probably haven't. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't try. Next question, please, if you have one.
So what have you lost that you would most like back? The other one was patience.
Patience is a virtue. Patience for, not just for some people. For me, I think I have great patience, and that's not me eating all the sugar lumps. But I can tell you this now, that is very, very, very hard. It's not easy having good patience. It's not easy trying to be patient with every situation. It's not easy trying to be patient with every person. Even with family, it's not easy having good patience because everybody has different ideas. Everybody has different plans. Everybody wants something different. Everybody wants to do something different. Everybody wants to go somewhere different. There's lots and lots and lots of everyday things in life where everybody wants to do different. So, if you're in the middle of all of that, then you have to have patience. If you don't have the patience, things can get a bit hectic because why? You're inclined to say the wrong words. You're inclined to deal with the situations in the wrong way. You're inclined to maybe not even care for that matter. And things can go pear-shaped end if there's no patience involved. I think patience is a very, very precious gift.
Have you ever lost patience?
I have.
So that's why I was going back to that.
Yes, I have.
Back to that question. Is there anything that you've lost you would most like back? For me,
Yeah, but
one of the things was patience.
right. I remember I said to you earlier on that there probably is things that I can't think of.
Yeah.
Maybe things I wouldn't say or things I wouldn't talk about. Yes, of course I've lost my patience at times, yes. And again, back to the one thing, that's our human nature, our human weaknesses. If we were really perfect in every way, we wouldn't lose patience. There's a lot of things that we wouldn't say or do that was wrong. A lot of things we wouldn't have said or done that we regret. So again, it's because we're human. Probably every question in that list there is going to be
It's because we're human.
It's going to boil back to because we're human.
Yes, so that's kind of the point of meeting those people because they're all human. We're
Yes.
all human. And we
Yes.
all have in common our humanity,
Very good,
our
yes.
fears.
We all have literally the same thing in common,
Yeah.
but we mightn't express it.
Yes.
We mightn't talk about it
Why?
because there might be various reasons.
Give us one.
Well, it could be there could be things we've done in life that we're ashamed of.
Shame, yeah.
There could be things that we'd like to talk about, but we're shy because we don't know what other people will think of it.
Shame and shyness, yeah.
Yeah. There might be things we'd like to talk about, but we don't have the courage.
Courage, yeah. Very good.
Again, the same thing, more or less the same thing, willpower. We can be weak in our willpower. If we don't have willpower, then we're, let's say we're fighting a battle, the best way of saying it.
Explain willpower.
There's a lot of things that takes willpower.
No, explain what willpower
I'll
is.
explain a bit to you, right? I do a lot of praying, for starters. And I know not everybody might be into this conversation, but I am, because this is me talking, yeah? I do a lot of praying, yeah? And there's a lot of things that puts me off praying, that distracts me from praying, that makes me not want to pray, that gets in the way of my praying, basically. Same thing with going to Mass. I live my life literally around my family, about praying for my family, going to Mass for my family, all these kind of things I offer up, right? It takes willpower. Getting out of bed in the morning, yeah? Just dragging yourself out. And I know that people have different lifestyles, going to work and going here and going there. I work also, yeah, but different lines of work. They're flexible times, if you like. But for me, going to Mass can be a task sometimes. It shouldn't be, because I'm Catholic and that's my faith, that's my religion. But it does be. There's times I just love to maybe lie on or do something different. No, inside me, there's this, obviously it's the Holy Spirit, is saying to me, go to Mass, this is what we need to do. This is what you chose to do in your life. There's the other half of me that's against that, trying to distract me or put me off. So I'm going to go with the good side of it, and the good side takes willpower. It's like trying to lead a decent life, a good and, let's say, healthy, holy, peaceful, prayerful life. If I want to live that, I have to have that battle every day. But that battle is with myself, because I can just drop them and just say, look, I don't want to do this anymore. That's never going to happen to me. But I know for the rest of my life that I have a fight in my hands that takes willpower.
Every day.
Every single day.
It takes dedication.
It takes dedication, but dedication takes willpower. So if I don't have that willpower, then I'm going nowhere. I'm getting nothing done, absolutely.
It takes patience.
Now, people might use these words for different reasons. I'm using it because I know my hardest battle, basically. Again, same story, looking after your family. Family have sometimes high demands. That takes willpower. And I'm not the only person that acknowledges that. There's lots of families out there who probably acknowledge the same thing, whether they talk about it or not. There's things that take willpower. And it's just sometimes not easy. But there's things that you can do for a day that takes willpower, and you're over that barrier, it's forgot about next day. No. Then there's other things, like I just explained earlier on, that takes willpower every single day. But the fact that I get up, I go to Mass, I pray, I do what the Lord wants me to do because I'm a Catholic, He gives me that strength, He gives me that willpower. So I know where that willpower comes from.
So what's the other things? Shame?
Yes.
Shyness?
Yes. Fear can be involved. Fear, you can have a fear, like we were talking earlier on about climbing and going on planes and going across bridges. We can also have a fear.
Fear of listening.
We can also have a fear. I don't have a fear of listening. We can also have a fear of talking or speaking. So fear is like a barrier in our faces. There's something there. Like I'll just give you a small idea, right? And I'm going back to my faith again a bit, right? Last week we were in a week and a half ago in Medjugorje, yeah, and we climbed. Myself and Joey, we climbed one of the mountains 3 times, yeah? When the third time we were doing the smaller mountain, now I was exhausted. It was 6:20 in the morning, right? Because the heat is very strong in the daytime in Medjugorje, yeah? So we jumped out anyway, we got up there and we got to the first of the mountain. When we got there was a group of people there. And basically, they were doing the Stations of the Cross up along, yeah? I decided to join in with them, basically. Because I felt good about it, because it was a group praying together, basically, which was good for me. I love that.
You didn't know these people from anybody?
Didn't know these people. No, I just joined in with them. There was
like the 10 people in the room that I met.
Yeah, that's right. So there was one woman there. She was an old lady. She was definitely 70 years of age, or probably a bit more, I'd say. She was a black woman, yeah? And you could hear her all over the place. She was talking loud, you know what I mean? Which, it was lovely. Her presence was lovely there. So she had a couple of bags, and I offered to carry one of her bags. She had a heavy bag on her arm, actually. So I offered her. So I took the bag off running and I carried it with me as we went up along the mountain. But that's not the moral of the story anyway. So as we went up along anyway, and we're doing the stations, and when we got to the last station, we done a decade of the rosary at every station, yeah? And the prayer then was finished. But there was one prayer at the end of it that I wanted to say was it's a long prayer. It's Hail, Holy Queen, Mother of Mercy. It's a long prayer. Something was telling me when everybody just finished the prayer, something was telling me just say that prayer at the end. Say it out loud. But I don't know what happened to me. Something stopped me from doing it. So now I'm thinking back, was it fear? Was it lack of willpower? Was I ashamed to do it, or was I shy about doing it? What was it that stopped me from doing the lovely prayer that I love doing every single day of my life? But yet, I don't know why. Again, as I said earlier on, that barrier was in my face, stopping me from doing that prayer that I wanted to do. Deep in my heart, I wanted to do it. So I think the only thing that did stop me, and I was trying to figure it out afterwards, was the fact that these were a group of people. They had their own leader. There was a priest and there was a tour guide with them, basically. So now I've only joined in here. So it's like I would have been taking control of the situation.
Like imposing yourself on that group.
So I didn't want to... it's not that I didn't want to pray, because we were praying. I didn't want to kind of take over, if you like.
Even though you're all there for the same thing.
Yes. It's like the saying, when the homeboy gets in, he tries to take over. But that was me. I was only...
Yeah, but you knew you weren't the homeboy.
No, but I was a tag-along. And I joined in there.
You didn't know what they were thinking. They could have thinking, who's this fella thinking he is?
They could have thought anything, but in the end they were nice, because I got talking to some of them. And of course I carried the old 70 or 75-year-old, whatever she was.
And did you say to them, I wanted to do this, but I didn't do it?
Not really, no. I didn't express myself in that way.
Yeah.
I just done what I always do.
Wow.
I stay as humble as I possibly can. I'm the fly on the wall most times, you see? So I like to take the back seat, if you like. Well, 9 times out of 10 anyway. And that was the situation there. So again, was that willpower? Was it shyness? Was it being ashamed? Or was it a fact that I just didn't feel like, I didn't feel right about thinking I was kind of taking control of their situation? I guess that's what it probably was.
So going back to me ma and Dad swimming, they're going there to get out their heads, to get
Yes.
out their own way, just to get into what they know they should be doing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes we can be our own worst critic in our heads, saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
And I've been in that situation, like, say, literally probably hundreds of times.
Yeah, don't do it, don't do
There
it,
was
don't do
things
it.
that I wanted to do, things I probably should have done, things I was sort of sorry for not doing, but then there's also times I've been in that situation and I've often said, thank God I didn't do it. So it's what would you call it, a win? Was it a win-win? No. Situation. I
Half
don't
of
know.
one of six a dozen of the other.
Something like that anyway. So next question, please.
There was 3 things that I had said that I had lost and I'd like back. The first one was my love for all human beings. The second one was patience. And the third one was intuition.
Intuition. Come on, explain that to me.
So, you know, when
I'm just to say, Dean, I'm not great with big words.
well,
like,
you know when you get a gut feeling,
Yes.
that's intuition.
Go on, yes.
Your gut feeling. And sometimes you don't go with that. Sometimes you don't go with your gut. You don't go with your intuition. Sometimes you lose your intuition.
Yeah,
you
that's
lose
right.
your gut.
But there's probably a couple of types of gut feelings you get. Do you ever get that gut feeling when it's saying like, don't go there?
Yeah, that's your intuition.
Again.
Yeah,
So your intuition is working on both ways then.
it's the same thing.
Very good.
So sometimes I've lost that
So you lost out in that.
and I've gone with me head rather than me gut.
Yeah, but I think, do you not think that happens most of us?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just telling people
But
that
should it be like,
I was telling people that in a room that I didn't know, these 10 people, that this was part of the stuff that I had lost that I would most like back. Was my intuition.
Should it be a regret?
It wasn't a regret. That's not the question. The question isn't what do you regret. The question is what have you lost that you would most like back.
Yes, which means you're regretting it.
No. I don't regret it.
You don't regret it,
No.
but you
If I had a choice, I'd like it back.
you recognise that you have so that is a regretting. You don't regret, would you like if you had it back?
Yeah, that's not a regret.
So I think it is a regret.
Okay.
I have to correct that one because that's what I think.
Great.
I might be wrong, but it's my opinion. It's
And
like,
as you know, your opinion
it's like giving something away and
or losing something.
saying if I had it back.
Yeah.
So now I'm regretting giving it away. And now, Dean, I don't want to put you into the deep water here, kid, but I honestly think it sort of amounts to the same kind of thing.
Not for me.
Well, for me it does.
Okay. And do you accept that it's not for me?
I accept your opinion,
Yeah.
even if I don't agree with it.
Exactly. That's what I was saying to you a
And I'm
second
giving
ago.
my opinion even if you don't agree with it.
Exactly.
So we leave, we'll agree to disagree. Is that okay? Give me the next question, Dean. Come on, will you? Stop going back to the one question the whole time.
Why, are you getting frustrated?
No, not really, no. I like questions, that's all.
The second one was patience there.
No, fourth one, yeah, we talked about that.
Okay, so here's another one. What scares you the most and how does that impact your daily life?
What scares me the most is the unknown. I'm not saying it scares me the most, but...
Well, I'm asking you, what scares
I
you
know.
the most?
Yeah, the most, I understand. But
And how does that affect you in your daily life?
I'll tell you what, and I'm going to go back to part of what I talked about earlier on, a little bit about. What scares me is, as I said, the unknown, thinking, not knowing how certain situations are going to turn out. But what gives me a great relief then, and a great assurance, you might say, truly, is my faith. I have to be honest with that question, because that is what does it for me. When I rely on my faith, it can take away all my fears, all my the things that might scare me the worst. And I have to say, there's not a big lot of stuff that scares me nowadays. But if there is like simple certain occurrences, as you might call it, and I'm sort of not liking it kind of thing, then I do be searching for ways to get rid of it, if that makes any sense. I know it's a hard one to explain. Now rephrase that question for me again, please.
What scares you the most, and how does it impact your daily life?
If there's something there that you're worried about, basically, it can distract your thinking. For me, it can distract my thinking. So that's when I have to get let's say I have to take a step back and take a hold of myself, if you like, and sort of kind of lead the way in a sense where, how do I kind of what's the best way to kind of sort this situation, whatever the situation might be.
So give me what the most scariest thing is for you. What is that thing?
Scariest?
Yeah. What scares you the most?
Well, let's put it this way. We're living in a crazy world right now. And there is a lot of scary things if we give heed to them, if we allow them, let's say, near us, if you like, even into our thoughts. I'm very, very concerned about health. Being honest about it. I literally, every single day of my life, and every morning, day and night, I literally, well, I can say most times I get on my knees. I literally thank God every single day of my life for health. That's a big thing in my life. Now, health regarding safety also, yeah. I'm always concerned about safety, yeah. I think sometimes I'm a little bit probably too careful about things. I seem to worry about everybody around me, concerning my family, basically. But at the same time, I don't know what I'm worrying about. Because as far as I'm concerned anyway, I have a good faith. So if my faith is as strong as I'd like it to be or think that it is, then I shouldn't be worrying. That's my opinion from inside, basically.
So why are you worried about it?
This is the thing. Sometimes you can't answer these questions because we don't know why we worry. Like, I do worry, yeah. And I'm sure the whole nation worries about certain things in life, especially family. Why do I worry? I do not know. Maybe because it's a weakness of mine. Because in all other aspects of life, I feel very confident. I feel very strong. I feel all good about everything, basically. It's something that I pray about every single day. Literally asking God to protect my children and protect their health. All my family, basically, you name it, grandkids, son-in-laws, daughter-in-laws, all of my family. I pray for us, I pray for all of them as our family, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, that is a concern for me, but at the same time, thanks be to God in heaven, I don't think I need to have that concern. But I just somehow let it into me. But maybe it's a good thing, because if I wasn't concerned, I probably wouldn't be praying as much about it. Like, and by praying about it, I get peace, I get consolation, I get understanding, I get reassurance from above. The question was about what's the most thing that worries me most, was it?
Yeah, what scares you the most?
What scares me the most, that. And maybe the reason for that is because, to be honest about it, we're living in a fallen world. There's so much bad things happening in this world that there is a lot to be scared of. It's pointless saying it's not. But as I said again, I like to place things in God's hands. And that's where I get me reliance, if you like. Me assurance, me comfort, me peace, my protection, my understanding, my knowledge, my wisdom, my guidance. I get everything from the hands of God. And that's where my faith lies. So I think it's my faith that protects me and my family from everything that goes on in this world. Because there's a million things that goes on in this world I don't want to be a part of.
So I was talking to you yesterday. I was telling you I was going into a march and protest in town.
Yes.
For the war in Palestine.
Yes.
And you said to me that you are praying for that.
For not to happen.
Yeah.
Praying for the people in Palestine, basically Gaza, Israel, the Holy Land, basically.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that for a long time also for Ukraine and Russia. You see, with so much happening, so much young kids getting killed in the midst of all this conflict, and also women, especially women. Women. When I say especially women, I mean to say especially women and children. Men will go out there and stand because they have to stand and fight. Simple as, whether it's right or wrong, some of them has to do it to protect their families, to protect their nation, if you like. It'd be best if this wasn't happening at all, that they didn't have to fight, that they didn't have to stand up for their families or didn't have to stand up for their country. It would be best if there was peace and there was no conflict, and then we could, let's say, thank God for the peace that's there. But instead of that, we're praying for peace to prevail there. So that's why I was saying to you, I pray a lot, but not just myself. There's a lot of travelers. I'm on let's say a WhatsApp group. It's all about prayer basically, and it's all travelers that's on this group. There's literally hundreds of travelers, but the beauty of it is, it's all men. And you're probably wondering why I'm saying that's the beauty of it, because there was a time when it was very, very hard to get men to pray. Men probably, not every man, but wouldn't take a rosary beads in their hands. They wouldn't talk about God. They wouldn't talk about Mass. They wouldn't talk about their faith, even though they had their faith. And I don't doubt that any traveller, I don't doubt any traveller's faith. As far as I'm concerned, all travellers do have a good faith. But the thing about it is, it was hard for them to express it. Whereas women were always great for it. Women had no bother going to Mass, praying for their kids, sitting down with the kids, doing their rosaries, doing the other prayers in between all of this. Literally, you might say constantly, I don't mean constantly praying for their children, but whether even when they're working, they're praying for their families, especially for their kids or whatever, like, you know. That's why I was saying that was the beauty of this WhatsApp group, where we all sort of kind of get together and pray for, let's say, pray for all types of intentions, but it's all good intentions. And if there's someone like in hospital or something gone wrong for somebody, they'll send in a message there to pray for such a person. Now, this is an all-traveller group, which is very, very, very good. Now, this is between England and Ireland. All lads from England and from Ireland and from wherever else. And it's powerful. The fact that it's powerful because when you combine prayers together, I don't know if you've ever heard the saying, prayer can move a mountain. Well, it's a true saying because prayer is very powerful. There's no doubt about that for anyone that knows about prayer. And yes, there comes a lot of healings, peace, understanding, consolation, you name it. And also, it gives you that sort of willpower and wisdom to go on, basically. Like, depending on what state of life a person has, if they can only sort of have a bit of faith and trust in God, they'd be surprised the healing that can be brought into their lives, body, soul and mind. But for some of them, it's very, very hard to try unless they're encouraged by somebody else. Now, some people can just take it on board themselves. They can do that. But then, like, maybe I'm guessing 90% of them would have been encouraged by somebody. Maybe their fathers or their mothers or their brothers or their sisters or maybe grandparents or cousins. Somebody had influenced them somewhere. And thanks be to God, it's getting stronger every day. So, yeah, there'll be a lot of prayers involved in that group also for all the poor women and kids that's getting killed out there. I know there's lots of men being killed out there also. I think only thing will really, really, truly stop it is too much evil. Simple as. Evil is the root of it all. And I think the only thing that's going to put an end to it is by as much people as possible praying for that situation.
Yeah, and that's kind of what those rallies and protests were, like millions of people all over the world marching and chanting and standing together, and it's a form of prayer. It's a form of collectivism.
Well, the
coming
fact that
together.
it's a get-together, together is good, as long as there's no violence in it, because then when there's no violence, it means they're there for the right reasons. Then does that make sense? So they're voicing their opinion, obviously. Hopefully that the world will hear them and get it across.
Yeah, so in that, who is the world? So who are they asking? Who are they talking to? Who are they protesting? Because sometimes I think, and this is probably one of the things that scares me, is that no matter how much protesting,
sometimes nothing happens.
who's listening?
I think their aim might be in the sense where they're not out actually praying. It's only obvious that they're trusting in God to sort this situation out. But at the same time, every man has his own free will. So now we have leaders that we call presidents that are literally a shambles to the whole world. Majority of them anyway. And they, one voice, literally, can make a decision for millions of people, billions of people. But who's to say that one voice is making the right decisions?
Like, we had one of those
We can
voices.
see now that they're not making the right decisions.
We had one of those voices visit our country a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And literally, we rolled out the red carpet. And now that same voice is funding $1 trillion war.
$1 trillion, that's right. And that money is only going to kill people. It's not going to solve a war. It's not going to stop a war.
And it's only going to make some people very, very dead and some people very, very rich.
Yeah. What they need is to get literally the majority of presidents, at least on that side of the world, if not the whole world, and all of them to be in communication and to talk to these presidents that's over these countries, basically in Israel and Gaza, to have their own leaders, basically. If they're not presidents, they're leaders, and to talk sense to them, and to literally let them take a step back on each side. It's the same in all conflicts. Somebody has to take a step back. It doesn't matter if you're the bravest or the toughest person in this world. If you haven't got the sense, then you have nothing. You need to know that either one here or the other has to try to make sense. Again, as I said, step back.
So I think that's a very nice but probably very simplified version of what's going on, because I don't think it's just we're angry with you because you've done something wrong on us and we're going to do this wrong thing to you.
Yeah, everybody is looking for someone to blame.
But I don't think it's that simple. I think that one of the things that we're not aware of is the actual reason for the war. I don't think it's just, we don't want you living there. You've done a bold thing on us. We're going to bomb you and get you out of there.
Yeah, but sometimes they mightn't have a reason. It can be an excuse. An excuse doesn't mean they have a reason. So if they were asked for a reason then, and they come up with this excuse, so people know, like, hold on for a second, this is like completely non-existent. It means they just simply wanted to have a war, and I'm guessing I think it's
part of it is I think they just want to have war and sell war machinery, sell bombs, sell guns, sell tanks, and because it's a business.
Yeah.
The other part of me thinks that they must be fighting over something else, like oil or resources
or land
or
maybe just power. Yeah. Maybe it's just power, that they have the power. They just want to use it because they know they have it. It's just a mental state, crazy, and it's probably never going to stop. If that stops, it's going to start somewhere else. At the moment now, there's 2 wars taking place, and it doesn't.
Well, if we get one more, we have a world war, I would imagine. If China on the other side starts and America start at each other, we're in the middle of a world war. What I'm thinking in my head is, where does prayer come in then? Because I think there is a thing called, in my head, there's a thing called the collective unconscious that you can tap into through prayer or meditation.
Prayer comes in because of, let's say, number one, we have to have faith for starters. But if we don't put our faith into practice, if you like, we can talk all day about prayer, but if we don't actually physically pray, then we're not praying. Then it's not happening. We're not using our faith. And to combine that, to make that powerful, we need a lot of people throughout the whole world, which I'm sure at this moment they are, a lot of them praying. But if it's not working, it means the prayers need to be doubled up, and we need more and more people to join in that from all parts of the world. Not just to say, I'll do that later on, or I'll do this again, I'll do that again. Probably never happens. And this is why so much is happening in the world. Because people are ignoring let's say too many warning signs they're ignoring, if you like. They're not taking heed of them. And it's probably the same in a lot of different situations throughout the world.
But it's also easy to say, look, yous were all praying, but this stuff still happened.
Yeah, it might happen for various reasons. It might happen to put an end to worser things. And you might say, how can it get any worse than that? Obviously it's bad, very, very bad. But there's a million different situations in life and through the world that we could talk about. Why does this happen and why does that happen? Nobody knows. Nobody can answer them questions. No matter how they try to answer them, I don't think they can be answered. But that still doesn't mean that they cannot try to better a situation from their own free will, basically. They make their choices. They want to fight, they fight. If they want peace, then they're choosing peace. So it is all about choices, yeah. Let's say bad leadership, if you like. Because without a doubt, if you have a president, which we have over in Russia now at the moment and Ukraine, and if one of them presidents just stood up and said, look, we have enough, we don't want no more of this, there's too many people suffering, there's too many people died of this. For one of them presidents to say, look, that's it, we're stepping back, we call it a truce. That can happen just by couple of words, but it doesn't seem to be happening. So it's only obvious on neither side of them one piece. It's like they're proving points, proving more than what. Look at here there's President Pluto, is it? That Russian president Putin. The man is over nearly 70 years of age or a little bit more, is he? Yeah, give it a few years, he mightn't be around. But yet he had a say in all of this. For to kill thousands and thousands of people.
So Joe Biden the same?
Joe Biden's heading now to the other side.
He's walking around with Alzheimer's or whatever the bleeding hell.
Your man, what do you call him?
He could hardly speak.
The other fella, the Ukraine president.
Yeah.
He was a film actor years ago. He's actually a young president. Although this all started off, the Russian president said we're going to wipe them out in 3 days. It's going on now a year and a half now. Maybe a little bit more. But yet the sympathy was all for Ukraine. So if the Ukrainians really and truly wanted peace and didn't want their country to be bombed up and their children to be shot and killed, why didn't he just say, look, we don't want no war, we're stepping back? And then the other presidents would probably step in and say, hold it, this guy doesn't want no trouble, we want you to back off. It's very simple. I'm not saying it's simple, it's a massive, massive thing, we know that. But at the same time, he's all go. He's all in for it. So it's very hard to say who's right and who's wrong. How do they say the two wrongs don't make a right? And that's the situation they're in. But yet, innocent children, women and men are suffering for it. And then you probably wonder why they're fleeing the country. You have other people in our country saying, you're letting all the foreigners in. Who wants to stay and lie under a bomb? Think about it. And the whole family just gone within minutes. So sure, nobody wants that. And no human being.
I don't think we realise.
Not even a dog. Not even a dog would want that.
I don't think here we realise actually really what's going on.
The full extent of it.
Full extent of it.
Yeah. Because why? Because it hadn't been thought about.
The full extent of
what's going on in other parts of the world, basically.
Real war, real exploitation, real slavery, real poverty.
Yeah.
And I know, yes, 100 years ago, 150 years ago, we had a history of it. But that's not our reality now. Our reality now is we're one of the wealthiest countries in the world, even though we have homelessness and all that type of stuff. But I think we're detached from actually what's going on.
We're willing to reach out and help somebody else. But maybe it's happening, I don't know, but probably not happening enough. But that's the story there, Dean, anyway, with faith and prayers and wars and fears. A Traveller and a Countryman podcast. Live the 24th November. Access Theatre. I hope we see you there.
This is our only live show this year. And we're going to fill the room in the Access with settled people, travelling people from all over the place.
So you're feeling good about it, Jess?
I'm very excited. We've got amazing guests. I'm really excited to hear Sharon Ward in that room singing lovely songs.
Now, Eileen Flynn, yeah?
Eileen Flynn.
And maybe people might want to hear her story as well, you know that?
Absolutely. She's a rare breed.
But how are they going to get a chance to hear her story? If they come to our live show, they get to hear Eileen Flynn talking. Is that right?
They get me, they get you, they get a special guest, they get Huey Mahon, €10 on the 24th of November.
So anyone that follows Huey is a chance to hear him now as well and see him too, isn't it? So it should be a great night out in the Axis 24th. Plenty of banter and plenty of chat and a bit of crack. Maybe there could be a song. We don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll have to wait and what do you call it? As Eminem said, I'm cleaning up my closet. We'll have to work on we'll have to search the closet, okay?
I guarantee you're going to stand in front of 200 people in a packed theatre with the spotlight.
And do you think I have the courage to that thing? I don't think so.
I think you're going to belt it out.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I'm not promising, but we'll see what happens. Is that okay? If we can work something out, we'll do it, huh?
So there's traveller people that I want to get along to this gig, and I don't think that they know about the gig.
There's a lot of them knows about it. Oh yeah, I want to invite all the travellers onto this show because it could be entertaining for them. It's a night out for them. Time to chill out as well also. And to hear all the crack come from different angles, as a fellow would say.
It's a night of chat, song, the crack.
Yes.
A couple of weeks before Christmas.
And best of all, in from the cold. Think about it, huh? For €10 you get a seat. You get light and you get heating. You get to listen to me and you talk. Here, there's no losers. It's all winners.
I think the queues will be around the corner.
I think it'll be interesting.
There's only 200 tickets, so get yours now. Go to the Axis
Tickets
Theatre.
are selling fast, you know that.
Tickets are selling fast.
Flying out.
Go to the Axis Theatre website, get your ticket. Travel on a country.
Can you buy a ticket at the door also? Yes.
Yeah, but they'll all be gone by then. So.
But if people want to get them at the door, can they get them if there's no...
tickets will be gone.
If they're not on the website, yeah?
Tickets will be gone. But you can walk in the front door.
Can we squeeze a few more chairs in there, no? I remember bringing them down on the stage. But never mind having 200 in front of us, probably about 50 behind us. So that's on the 24th of November. I'm looking forward to that, please God. I think it's going to be a good evening out.
Axis Theatre, Ballymun. 24th of November, a traveller
and a countryman.
You better rehearse
Let's
this.
do it again, come on.
A traveller and a countryman.
A traveller and a countryman podcast, 24th
Let's
November.
do it together then.
Okay. A traveller.
How do we know when to do it together?
1, 2, 3.
Very good. Here we go.
1, 2, you say 3, go on.
3.
A traveller and a countryman podcast. Live. The Axis Theatre.
24th November.
See you there.
Where did you get tickets?
At the door. Online. I'll even bring the tickets to them if they want.
if you rock up to Martin and St. Margaret's Park, anyone looking for tickets, get on to Martin Stokes. I'll do the first bit.
No, I said we do it together, see what it's like.
On 3. 1, 2, 3. A traveller.
Okay, a traveller and a countryman.
Where did you get okay from?
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
A traveller and a countryman podcast.
Live, the 24th November. Axis Theatre. Hope we see you there. Tickets
€10 in the Access.
And where else?
Off Martin Stokes.
Online.
What's the address?
Number 14. You're spoiling it all, I'm telling you. You're just spoiling it completely. If you don't want to see the countryman, tell me you want to see the traveller. It's all the same. I'll be there anyway, don't worry. And again, if I'm not there, just start without me. Hope that.
Episode 48, a Traveller and a Countryman podcast.
Take out the meow. Oh yeah. Take out the meow. Take that out.
So that's us for this episode, a Traveller and a Countryman podcast. If you like it, let us know, share it around, and we'll see you on the road.